Let's talk about evil. Let's talk about evil. Evil is an interesting word, but I want to talk about words in general because words are powerful. In the beginning is the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The words we put out are powerful. What's also equally as powerful is the power and the meaning we put behind words. So let's talk about evil. There are some people who really believe in the world, and I've seen many and talked to many about this, that there is this evil force out there that's out to get us and out to sway us from the better way. That there is a devil, which, as we said in the other video about hell, that even the concept of the devil isn't really in our modern culture until the 1300s when Dante wrote the Inferno. But let's I'm going to read two different questions. One from about a week ago, and one from now, like minutes ago. First one here says, I'm going to skip the first part of this. I'm okay with there is no hell, but I've lived long enough to see real evil, unfortunately, in my own life and in the lives of those I have counseled with. There are some people who are living at such a low vibration, I really can't imagine them passing over into enlightenment. I just can't. What kind of process could possibly get them to that point? That's the first question. The second one reads like this. How do you account for evil like murder, rape, and violence? Are you saying that we manifest evil ourselves? As far as I know, the only person you can control is yourself. Evil people exist, unfortunately. Okay, so let's talk about evil. What is evil? Evil is an imbalance and a loss of fear. A loss of love. They cannot see love, and the deeper they drop into their fear, they start doing things to make them feel better. This is the root cause of addiction. Now, sometimes they'll do something to gratify themselves, and they'll go, like somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer. He ended up eating people, right? So he started doing things to make himself feel better. Started doing things to make himself feel better, and his mental state drops down to the point where he had to consume other people to make himself feel better. Now let's look at this from a unique standpoint. Evil is the absence of love. Okay, evil is the absence of love. However, it's not some big mystical force that's coming to get you. I see that all the time. People ask me about that all the time. Evil is an imbalance. Evil is fear run amok. Okay, that's what evil is. People grasping for power. The reason they grasp for power is because they're afraid of having none. They don't feel powerful, so they want to grab as much as they possibly can. They have associated power with love. So let's talk about addiction for a second, so I can dive into this a little further. So I just said that they're trying to find ways to make them feel better, and they have found that these bad things give them a sense of power or satisfaction. That's where they're grabbing their thing, their drug of choice. Right now in this world, there's tons of people who are addicted. Addiction, in my opinion, is medicating fear. And let me give you a really good example. When you want to release fear, the number one thing you should do is exhale. It breaks the fear response, and it gets you back into a positive state very quickly. That's why meditation uses it. That's why, pardon me, I'm yawning now. It makes me yawn. That's why all the Buddhists do the chanting, and the Native Americans do their chanting. It's air. It's moving of air. It's getting air out of it. In the beginning was not the beginning of Genesis. They talk about the breath of God breathed into the universe. Breathing. It's foundational in all spiritual practice. Breathing. When you dive into deep meditation, there's a moment in there where you suddenly become the observer of your body breathing itself. It's fascinating. But addiction. So if say I'm addicted to cigarettes, and this pen, I have never smoked, by the way. And there's this pen, and I put the pen in my finger like a cigarette, right? So as a smoker, I take my cigarette, I light it up, and I give myself permission to relax and exhale. If I'm a drinker, an alcoholic, I get a drink. I need a drink. I'm tense and frustrated. I can't breathe. Oh my God. They allow themselves to exhale. Somebody who's a pizza-aholic like myself, I get a slice of pizza. Oh God, it's so good. Right? That's because we're medicating our fear. Evil is an imbalance to the extreme, right? I really don't like the concept that people have that there is a war between good and evil. There's a struggle against the veil, and the veil is fear. Your fear being eradicated is the secret to enlightenment, according to Buddha, right? So it's the struggle against fear. But when you get so far out of balance and you can't see love, you go crazy. You get nuts. You get to a space where you're doing things. Now, does that fear and that anxiety reach out and hit other people? Absolutely, yes, it does. They look over and they see somebody who's good and loving and caring, and they attack it. And in some cases, like Dahmer, he may want to eat them so that he can get it, not realizing that's not how you get it, right? So there's a mental imbalance in there, but true evil comes from fear. Now, question then becomes is that a karmic thing? Are you carrying it from one life to the next? Who knows? We all have that sort of understanding that we what we sow we reap. But does that carry from life to life? Who knows? But the one thing that was said here that I would like to tap into at the end here is. There are some people who are living at such a low vibration, and I agree with that statement. Low vibration. God is love, and love is the highest vibration. Fear is the lowest, right? And it's an interesting thing because when you take I used to know a lot of professional actors and performers and mimes, and I'll tell you my one mime joke. If a mime is cutting down a tree in the forest and the tree falls backward and lands on the mime, does anyone care? I'm joking. I like mimes. I have friends who are mimes. The interesting thing about the low vibration is, I one time did a class with a gentleman who was world-class mime. And he was talking about the physical body and how it reacts to the way we think. And he brought me up in front of the class. And I'm a 6'1". At that point, I was about 240 rock solid muscle. I was like a big muscular guy, and he brought me up, and I'm standing there behind him. He was about 5'4", and I could have thrown him across the room. A little tiny guy, and he says, "What I'd like you to do is give me a second here, and then I want you to just lift me up." I said, okay. So he closes his eyes, he breathes, he relaxes, and he says, okay. And I reach out to grab him, and I can't budge him. So I grab all the way around him, and I can't budge him. I can't get him off the ground. I can't move him. And then he says, okay. And we came back. He says, all right, I want you to do it again. Just give me a minute here. And he would... And I reached out with my hands to grab him, and I almost threw him off the ground. It was like 50, 60, 70 pound difference in weight between the two times I tried to lift him. What's fascinating about this is positive vibration and what you think makes you lighter, and negative vibration makes you heavier, right? And what he was doing, the exercise he used, he did, the first time I tried to lift him, he was a tree. He rooted himself to the ground. The second time I tried to lift him, he was a bird in flight, so he went straight up. But the thought of up or down gave him that power over me, over the natural environment. Remember the Beatles back in the old days? Whenever they would have a bad experience, they'd say, "Man, that's a drag. It's heavy, right? It's heavy." It's because low vibration is heavy. When you feel great, you can feel that charge and you feel light on your feet. When you don't feel great, you feel like you're dragging to your car, right? That's that low vibration. And these people who are in fear are always in low vibration, and they're trying to find things to get them outside of fear. Now, I talk about addiction and how they do that thing. So check this out. If you can't feel love, right, and you're trying to feel love, at some point in our life, we have these moments of feeling good about things. And then if we get to a point in our life where we never feel that again, we start to find things to make us feel better. We start to find things to get us addicted to new things. Alcohol, cigarettes, doing evil things. It's all about satiating their lack of love, their lack of, and sometimes they misinterpret power for love. Sometimes they misinterpret respect for love. Those are just words that are levels of love, and some of them we can't even say the word love because it's not manly enough, or has never done them well, right? But the concept is that the reason I say they're medicating their fear is because they're finding something that makes them feel better. And then they're giving power to that substance or action that makes them feel something positive. I feel so good, exhilarated. Now, here's my thought. The people who are doing the most evil stuff, for them, their drug is adrenaline. They're doing things that give them an adrenaline high, and it makes them feel better, so they do something again so they can have an adrenaline high. They're trying to find that feeling of love, that feeling of positivity, because they don't have positivity. They don't have positive in their life, so they're looking for things to make them feel positive. Power is positive. Respect is positive. Love is positive. Those things. Some people have sex as positive. When you drink alcohol, it's a buzz. I knew a friend who was a pot smoker. He said, "But I get the same high off of cigarettes." He says, "I never smoked cigarettes. I started smoking pot, and then I started smoking cigarettes, and the cigarettes were giving me a little high too." And so he was associating this action of smoking for the high, right? He was trying to find the thing that makes him feel better. And that's what evil is. It's a complete imbalance of fear. It's I can't feel love, I can't experience love, and so I think that I have to do things to make me feel better. But there's not an evil out there that's searching to force you to do evil things. There's not an evil out there that's making you step into areas and take actions that are harmful to people. There's not a force out there that's making you do that. What there is out there is love and fear. And if the things that have happened to you in life are taking you down the road where you can't feel love, you can get addicted to fear itself and causing fear in others. That is totally a possibility, because when you cause fear in others, you create power in you. So that is my thought on fear. And like the people who do evil things, absolutely they can harm people who are not deserving of it. But then you have to go into the other question of, was that a life choice? Did the person who didn't deserve it choose to come here so to experience that fearful moment at the end, or to come here to have that evil person have this experience of going all the way down to the bottom of fear, the rock bottom. We don't know, because we don't know whether we plan our future or not. And that's the key, is we need to make sure that we look at our life from the aspect of love or fear. And evil is a word that was made up and was given to a condition. It wasn't given to some evil entity coming to get us, or evil force out there in the world. That's my take on this. Whether you believe me or not is really, it's up to you to look into your heart and say, is this true? Do I believe this? And then ask yourself, if you do believe that there's evil forces out to get us, why would you want to think about it? Why would you want to focus on it? And if you are focusing on it, what has that brought you? So there you go. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.